We should now, before we begin, make a good motivation. We're here now. Some of us had to push our schedules around. Some of us had to be late for something. Some of us had to drive from long distances, very long distances, some are from Johor Bahru to be here today. Some maybe has had some emotional disturbance today. They were angry and unhappy about something. Some people thought, maybe I'll go, maybe I'll not go, not go. And a lot of us go through that. When we're going to attend something virtuous, where we're going to attend something that would benefit us and have lasting impact on us for the rest of our life, usually a lot of obstacles come up for us to go. Usually, it is normal. When we go to do non-virtuous things or things that bring us no benefit, it's very easy to go. It's very easy to be there and no obstacles and no problems, misleading us to believe that virtuous actions are non-virtuous, non-virtuous actions are virtuous. Usually when we go for very virtuous actions, we have a lot of doubt, we have a lot of problems, we have a lot of issues, we have a lot of obstacles. And that comes from our karma stopping us to receive something positive. It's always like that. It's very normal. When people do mantras, when people do their sadhanas, when they do their meditations, when people wish to set up an altar, when people wish to attend a Dharma talk, all the time obstacles arise. All the time difficulties arise. Why is that? Who in this world has achieved something great without obstacles? Who in this world has achieved something beneficial in their lives without obstacles? When we want to marry someone that we cared about very much, was it easy? Or did it take years and time to get to know the person? Arguments, difficulties, separations, doubts, arguments, fighting, again and again. Even something as marriage. When we want to have kids, how difficult was it? How much effort did we have to go through? When we want to do business, setting up, planning, decoration, finances, insurance, how difficult was it? And that's just the physical part. Emotionally, obstacles, problems, support factor, lots of problems. Just for doing those simple things. Simple as in for this life's benefit. Naturally, if we want to do something extremely beneficial, such as overcome our emotions, doesn't mean to become emotionless, doesn't mean to become cold, but when we want to simply overcome our emotions, and we want to overcome something that's been us for a long time, that if we change, if we transform our lives, it will be much more difficult, much more. Having a human body with all the faculties intact, having a human body that is fit and is a fit container to learn something higher, having a human body and using it for more than eating, copulation, and sleeping, having a human body more than that. Born in a place where Dharma can be heard, born during a time where Buddha has appeared, born during a time where Buddha has appeared and taught, and born during a time where the Buddha's teachings and the lineage are still alive and real, not empty words spoken, but alive and real. The lineage is fresh and passable. And also being able to go and listen and being able to practice, it takes an incredible amount of merit. It takes an incredible amount of merit. It takes an incredible amount of prayers and good aspirations from previous lives and this life. It's in fact very, very rare to be able to listen to the Dharma. Very rare. And to even practice the Dharma, it's more rare. For example, many people are of this religious denomination, or that religious denomination, or this faith, or that faith, or no faith. Any faith, as I've always said, is fine. Any religious denomination you're from is fine. Whatever religious denomination that you wish to choose is fine. But how many people actually have the merits, the wisdom, to apply what they have learned? And then when they've applied what they've learned, how many people have the wisdom and the merits to get the results? Many people like religion. In this case, many people like Dharma. Many people admire. When His Holiness the Dalai Lama goes anywhere and teaches, anywhere, whether it's Australia, United States, United Kingdom, wherever, minimum 40 to 50,000 people will show up. That's minimum. Minimum. In Bodh Gaya, when he gave teachings, 400,000 people showed up. So what am I trying to say? People want Dharma. People like the Dharma. People understand that it's logical and it's growing, it's getting bigger. And the phenomenon is getting bigger and bigger and bigger in this world because Dharma teaches on logic, clarity, straightforwardness, combined with meditation, contemplation, combined with supplication of an enlightened being to bless and open our mind. That one is coupled together with one's own effort. And that will be very appealing to educated modern people. Very, very appealing. Why? Because it's not a bunch of stories. It's not a lot of myths. It's not a lot of information items that you have to take upon belief. It cannot be questioned. It cannot be doubted. It is a faith where it encourages doubt, encourages questions, encourages logic and penetrative insight. Encourages. Why? In that way, a person can transform. So therefore, to be in the Dharma talk, to be in a real Dharma talk, and to hear and to receive the Dharma, one has to go through, or one goes through a lot of obstacles, a lot of problems, a lot of difficulties, and a lot of doubts, and go, don't go, a lot. Even during Dharma talk, I observed for the last 25, 30 years, during Dharma talk, people's minds are wandering, people's body cannot sit, cannot focus, cannot even concentrate. And if we go for entertainment, we go for parties, it can be 6, 7, 8, 9 hours, it's effortless. And the preparation to go to a party will take us 1 or 2 days for some of us. So that one, we don't think much of. But for a Dharma talk, we find it monumentally difficult. And the reason is the lack of merits. The lack of merits and the lack of luck we have to actually transform our lives. Does that make us a bad person? No. Doesn't make us a bad person. But to say, having said that, it gives us a realization of how much we appreciate the Dharma talk, how much we appreciate knowledge. So therefore, we should appreciate the rarity of being able to come to a Dharma talk, the rarity of being able to attend and to be alert, to be fit, and to be able to absorb, and the rarity of being able to put into practice and get the results. When we get the results of Dharma practice, we will see our minds change. We will not see the world change. We will not see situations change. We will see not our environments changing. When we have our own minds change, we will see the whole world as if it has changed. It is more worthwhile to put on a pair of shoes to protect your feet from thorns and pebbles and the heat and cold of the ground than to cover the whole planet in leather or soles of a shoe so that we are protected. Therefore, the Buddhist perspective is world peace comes from inner peace. The Buddhist perspective comes from wearing shoes to protect one's feet instead of expecting the whole world to be swept and clean so that our feet can walk around barefoot and unhurt. So therefore, by listening to the Dharma once, twice, again and again, and applying concentration and doing one's own homework, means setting up and listening up, definitely one will see one's disposition transform. Definitely. One will see one's perspective change. One's culture doesn't change. One's appearance doesn't change. One can wear nice clothes, have a nice house, have a nice partner, a nice spouse. One can have good food. Nothing changes on the outside. Nothing about Buddhism talks about change on the outside. Change on the outside and living an ascetic life and giving up everything is a misinterpreted form of Buddhism that has been romanticized and idealized throughout the world. But real Buddhists, sincere Buddhists, do not need to change anything. Nothing of their outer appearance, nothing of their outer habituations, nothing of their outer likes and dislikes need to change. So we should put all fear aside that when I engage in a spiritual practice, I have to change myself overtly. This fear must be put aside. Why? That is a romanticized, idealized projection of what spiritual practice is supposed to be. So therefore, we should think how rare it is for me to be able to listen, to be here, to have something that benefits me. It's free. The place is cooling. The place is clean and pleasant. Everybody has put in a lot of effort to make this happen. The bills are paid. The air conditioning is working. Our cars are practically safe. Our cars are safely parked. We're here. So instead of thinking, what's the next thing? What do I do after this? I'm tired. I'm exhausted. My legs hurt. Instead of thinking about all that, for one day, for one session, for a few hours, reward yourself. How do you reward yourself? By listening to something that is the truth, that you can apply to your mind, that can transform your life. So you should reward yourself. You should give yourself something. You should give yourself something more than what you've been giving. Grooming oneself is not really giving, it's just maintenance. Eating is not reward, it's just maintenance. Making money is not really reward, it's actually maintenance if we think about it. Receiving Dharma is reward. Why is it a reward? Because when we recognize the nature of our mind, where it comes from, how it functions, and the good points about our mind, how to increase, and the negative points of our mind, to observe, to watch, to see where it arises from, and to have a correct antidote and application. And then when we apply the antidote, we see our minds transform. Isn't that reward? Because when our minds transform, when our minds change, the first person that lets go of long, heated unhappiness, pain, trauma, difficulties, the first person to experience that is ourselves, to let go. When we let go, we win. To let go, to tell someone to let go, all religions, all people, even our loving, beautiful parents, our beautiful wives, our caring husbands can tell us that. But how to let go is very difficult. Very, very difficult. All religions tell us to be a nice person, to be kind, to be giving, to be gracious, to forgive. All religions tell us that. But what's very unique about Buddhism is it doesn't just tell you to be that. It will, through stages and time, explain to you why you feel like that, where it arises from, what antidotes to apply, and what results to observe and look for. And with time and application, you will definitely get a result. Past emotional scars will heal. When that heals, future potentially dangerous, explosive situations will be avoided, creating more scars than others and ourselves. On top of that, people around us will feel immediately our lightness, our happiness, our mind being open. People around us will immediately feel that. When they feel that, we will affect the change in people around us. Even very difficult people around us, you'll see that they start transforming and changing. And even some of those who are not at a level where they can change, they won't harm us anymore. And even those certain silly people who try to harm us, we can't be harmed anymore. We won't be harmed. We cannot be harmed. We don't allow it anymore. And then we will make our spouses very happy. Why should we make our spouses happy? Why should they make us happy? Because we know more. We understand more. We have more wisdom. It's silly to expect a child to make a parent happy. Our parents should make a child happy. The reasons are obvious. So therefore, we can learn the methods, we can watch for the signs along the path, and we can apply to our mind to gain freedom. When we surrender to our spiritual practice, whether it's in the form of refuge or baptism or having faith, when we surrender, contrary to what people believe, we start on the path of gaining freedom. We start on the path of gaining freedom. So therefore, what we should think now is this, is I'm very lucky that all the situations and all the affinity and all the karma and my timing and everything can coincide that I can receive the Dharma talk. And I'm going to listen to this Dharma talk. And I'm going to focus. And I'm not going to think about what's next. And even if the Dharma talk is a little late, I'm not going to worry about my schedule tomorrow, because I can eat and sleep and go to work and be wherever I need to be every single day. But I'm going to do something for myself. I'm here. So I'm going to be here. I'm going to be in a moment. And I'm not used to sitting in certain positions. And my body might be painful. My legs might be painful. But it doesn't matter. Because I'm not suffering pain for no reason. I'm not experiencing pain for no reason. I'm experiencing it to get something that will help me. That will benefit me. I've experienced pain and difficulties to benefit myself many times in the past. Many, many, many times. This is no different. I will not think what's next. I will not think what happened prior to this. I will not even think about my body or who's around me, what's going on. I'm going to think and concentrate on what I'm about to listen to. Why? Because I have made so much effort to be here, and I'm going to be here. And some of us think, oh, I'll go for a Dharma talk and I'll attend for 1 hour or 2 hours and I'll take off. Sure, you can take off. Maybe your mother will scream at you because you're late. Maybe you're a little tired. But you have to understand, to get benefit, you have to put in effort. To always just live for the sake of working, getting a salary, and paying the bills, always working for the sake of that, you have to understand, you are not rewarding yourself. You're not helping yourself. You're not benefiting. You're just going through the process of living. So therefore, we should develop a very strong motivation at this time in order to make people around me happy. In order that the people around me, or the people I have not made happy or may be unhappy, that I let go. In order in the future, I cannot be a slave to my emotions and my anger and my thinking that doesn't benefit others. In order that I can find freedom and not be chained and be a slave to my body, be a slave to my emotions, be a slave to earning money, be a slave to eating, be a slave to sleeping. In order that I do not become a slave and be always shackled down by these feelings of anger and jealousy and pain and holding on and attachments, that I may not be chained down anymore, that I may find myself and be free. Free in what way? Light, clear, clarity. I will listen to the Dharma. And in this life, this is what I have. This is what I have to work with. And that's great. But in future lives, may I take rebirth again and again and again. In situations, in places where I can be of tremendous benefit to others and not waste 1 second of my time in my future lives on the pursuit of existing simply for eating, defecation, and sleeping, that I may have a greater purpose, no matter how glamorous it looks. May in this life and future lives, may I come across the spiritual path that is suitable for me, that I can apply, that I can get results, and that I can advance. May I use my precious human body and my incredible precious intelligence and my education, may I use that for more than sleeping, more than just earning money, more than just finding a mate. For animals can do that. But something that will truly bring benefit to others, bereft, without any type of expectation of return. For this reason, in order to achieve full enlightenment for the sake of all sentient beings, I will engage in the listening, the contemplation of Dharma. My mind will be focused on the Dharma. I will contemplate. My body will be focused on the My body will be focused on Dharma, discipline in listening and sitting. And I will control my speech. For the next few hours, I'll be quiet. By being quiet, controlling my speech, which is not easy, I will reflect on animals who suffer, animals who have tremendous pain and difficulties, and they can never express one word. May their sufferings be relieved by my silence these next few hours.